Parts of the brain. The first object is the blue bulb, the thalamus. It is the inner room, the grand central station. It acts as a relay station to incoming sensory. The orange bit to the left of that is the hypothalamus. It regulates hunger, thirst, motivation, emotion, sex, and aggression, as well as running the endocrine system through the pituitary gland. That purple and orange bit right there, the lower orange bit, is the medulla oblongata. It controls our vital automatic functions such as reflexes, heart rate, breathing. Then the RAS is the upper half, which is the reticular activating system. It serves to alert the rest of the brain to incoming signals. It's a watchdog. The green bit around everything is the brainstem. It takes messages to the peripheral nervous system. The pons, it's the orange band around the brainstem. The pons is involved in sleep and arousal. It acts as a bridge to connect messages between the spinal cord and the brain. What you see there in the next picture, the purple bulb, that is the cerebellum. It's also known as the little brain. It controls coordinated movements, balance, posture, equilibrium. The first brain structure impaired by alcohol. So the sobriety test, they're going to be checking for cerebral damage. Yeah. The first object you see there, the blue band around the brainstem, is the hippocampus. It looks like a ram's horn-looking structure that is associated with memory. It appears to wrap around the thalamus bulb and the midbrain. The amygdala is the purple bit at the end of the hippocampus. It is involved in emotional responses, especially fear and rage, and also aggression. It's the part of the brain used most often by teenagers in the more rational frontal lobe. The corpus callosum. It is a thick, slightly curved structure extending from just above the cerebellum to the rostral side of the thalamus bulb. It's an empty channel of ventricle. It allows the two hemispheres of the brain to communicate with one another. Now, the final product here, the orange and the green layer over the entire brainstem, is the hindbrain and midbrain. It's the wrinkled and furrowed covering to the two hemispheres of the brain. The human part of the brain is the only thing that separates us from other species, allows for language, intellectual thought, problem solving, and abstraction. The top 1/4 inch of the cerebellum is the cortex. Other honorable mentions. The frontal lobe. It's the last lobe to develop and assists in impulse control, judgment, and weighting decisions. The motor cortex is involved in planning and execution of voluntary motor movement. Parietal lobe is the perception of raw sensory data. The sensory cortex integrates sensory information located at the front of the parietal lobe. The occipital lobe is the vision center. It's the visual perception. The visual cortex processes visual information located at the very back of the occipital lobe. The temporal lobe is the perception of audio data. Auditory cortex processes auditory information. Broca's area allows for articulation of speech located in the frontal lobe. Wernicke's area allows for comprehension of speech in the left hemisphere of the brain.